Let me unmute. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing? This is Terry Armstrong, co-founder of TCM, with this week's episode of Lemons to Lemonade: Stories of Perseverance. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We have a very special guest that'll be arriving soon, but I want to just go ahead and do some housekeeping type issues and get that out of the way so we can just thoroughly jump into our conversations today with our guests. First of all, if you haven't already, please subscribe to Lemons to Lemonade TCM Lifestyle on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and share to as many friends as you have and like us. We really enjoy doing this, and we just want to get the word out to as many people as possible. And we really appreciate all the support we've gotten so far. Also, as you can see on the screen, we actually actively engage in texting our community to engage them. If you haven't already, send a text to 404-737-0937, and we will go ahead and text you back so you can be a part of our community and receive text from us, and we can get your feedback on some things. I see our guest is sitting there waiting, so let me go ahead and bring her in.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
How's it going?
I'm good. How you doing?
It's been a day, but I'm here.
Oh yes. Thank you so much. Let me please go through this bio because since you sent it over and it's quite impressive.
Well, thank you.
So I want to just share it with everyone. Our guest today is Jetaya Jones, and please correct me if I'm pronouncing your name
That's correct.
incorrectly. And she's fondly known as your favorite business coach's secret weapon. She currently serves as the CEO of Jetaya Jones Consulting, a boutique consulting firm where she empowers visionaries with clarity, allowing them to holistically close gaps within traditional industries, but in non-traditional ways. She's a serial entrepreneur herself, a fellow multi-passionate. Her heart is to help multi-passionate entrepreneurs get clear on what you do, not how you make your money. Her philosophy is once you know what you do, you can make money doing you. I really believe, I like that. I like that a lot, by the way. She is a visionary with the ability to facilitate dream transformation and therefore does not limit her counsel to corporations. She's also the founder and executive director of 14s Inc. And I really appreciate that. I know you had us involved a few years ago, and I can't wait to be involved again this year. She helps disconnected youth realize their career aspirations, ensuring an equal opportunity for success. She using behavioral change theories and holistic networking. She develops educational programs and materials that provide evidence-based solutions. All right, that's a mouthful.
It is.
That is a mouthful. How you doing today?
I'm good. It's good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. I've been busy as well. I caught a bit of what you were doing before you jumped on with us. So I was like, oh, she has a full calendar today.
Yeah, yeah. I was kept looking at my phone from the last meeting. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Well, thank you for joining us. I already did some housekeeping for us, but one of the things I wanted to share with the audience is I think we met probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe some there or thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
And I must say, I count you as a friend and a dear counselor to me and my business interests. All I can say is she's one of those people that the tip of the iceberg is just above the water, and there's so much more to you and what you have to offer people. And if they ever get a chance to work with you, they should. So that's my trying to give you my glowing endorsement.
Thank you.
All right, cool. But I'm not gonna steal your thunder. Please take a few minutes. Tell our audience who you are, what made you be the person you are today.
Definitely. So I'm Jetaya Jones, and I am multi-passionate. So for many, many years, I consider myself that serial entrepreneur. I was bouncing
Mm-hmm.
around from this thing to this thing. I am a certified nail tech, a certified bartender, which most people don't
Really,
know. Yeah.
I
Um,
did. Wow.
exactly, right? And so it was literally a journey of trying to figure out, that thing because I am
Mm-hmm.
a creative and I've had the personalized gift company. Um,
Mm-hmm.
But for many of those years, I still found myself robbing Peter to pay Paul. And
Gotcha.
so it was diving all in. I'm going to do this now. And then that didn't work out fast enough because the
Mm-hmm.
goal for me was to leave the 9 to 5 and do the things that make you happy, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
it took many, many, many years, even a decade, before I realized, which was right in front of my face, is that I help people get clear. It navigated into networking, and I was helping introverts and students network because I was
Mm-hmm.
also once an introvert. And then
Okay.
I realized those that were doing great at that actually were clear about what they wanted to do. So I took a pivot into
Mm-hmm.
really honing in on clarity and strategy and communication. And here we are today. And so I get to now do what I love to do and help multi passionate entrepreneurs and also just other small businesses out there
Mm-hmm.
get clear on what you do because I truly believe once you know that common thread in the fabric that's you to streamline everything that you do in personal and professional, you can just make money doing you.
Okay. Okay. I must tell everyone I'm one of the most um I don't know, I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but I'm an
Mhm.
introvert myself. She's a really good listener. Really, she pays really good attention. So when you're talking, I'm like, oh, she's paying attention to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is gonna come back up again later. Okay, I got it. But I really want to applaud. One of the things I have noticed since I've known you is that you're really good at just having that conversation and helping people just kind of talk through things themselves.
Mhm.
As well as I haven't met anyone as with as extensive a network as you, and that you can tap into so quickly. And I really appreciate that about you. I don't know if anybody else has had that experience with you, but I'm like, okay, does she know everybody in every, doing something?
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay, okay. Well, all right, cool, cool. Well, the theme of this show is lemons to lemonade, so I want to really jump into that whole thing. I know you've had a really long career and you've been doing a lot of things, as you said, but like me, I'm sure you've had challenges pop up along the way.
Mhm.
And I always feel like us entrepreneurs, that's that kind of defines who we are, is our ability to face the challenge and figure out, okay, what do I do next? Now what?
Yeah.
And so if you have any stories like that that you can share with our audience, I'd really appreciate
Ooh, how much time do we have? No, 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 seriously. So, y one of the things that I will say about being a female in a male-dominated industry, no matter
it.
whether that's corporate or entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
as well as being multi-passionate, a lot of times you are perceived
Mm-hmm.
in a way, right?
Okay.
I'll let you guys can just pick one.
Okay.
And so because of that, it tends to lend for a very discouraging journey sometimes.
Mm.
Whether, especially for my multi passionates, if you're all over the place, if you're confused, why don't you focus? Why don't you? It just pushes you to not shine your light, not do it in
Mm.
your way, and try to conform into the traditional ways that everybody else is doing it. And so you kind of get blurred in the lines with everybody else, and that's
Mm-hmm.
killing your soul at the end of the day. So you tend to not want to take the next step.
Okay.
Um, so that's just one of the many ways, but a lot of times, up until like I'll say the past 5 years, getting funding as a female was
Mm.
also hard. Having those things that you don't know what you don't know, right? So you hit this brick wall and you don't know where to go. You don't have community. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll just say systemically that might know the journey that you might need to take, right? To
Mm-hmm.
be able to get to that enterprise level. So there are so many instances and things that I can think of and share as to just the discouragement to not want to take that next step or not even knowing how to take the next step.
Yeah, yeah. I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think one of the things I think when I met you, your friend, she was talking about the business she was going into, and I'm like, you know what? Just share, what I know, whether she can use it or not. Let me share that. But I think I appreciate that what you're saying is that because one of the things we kind of learn along the way is, where to turn for help. You
Mhm.
know, it's hard enough for us to ask. I don't know about women,
That
but I do
part.
know men. It's hard for us to ask for help. and then not knowing when we get to that point, and then not knowing where to go, can be a
Mhm.
little bit frustrating. So I would
Definitely.
wholeheartedly agree with you on that.
And that's one of the things that stood out about you is that you offered, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people who want to keep it close knit, right?
Mm,
I don't want to help, or no one helped me. And so just to have someone, whether the information pans out or not, to be
yeah.
able to offer
Yes.
is is a characteristic that is like very rare. And so I was like, huh, let's see who this gentleman is, right?
Yeah.
Um, because that asking for help is huge. It is huge.
It,
That's one
it,
of the biggest lessons I had to learn, and it was a
hmm
humbling experience once I did.
Yeah, yeah. Same here. Same here. I think like when I called you and I was like, "Hey, you know anything about this?" I'm like, "You're doing this. Can you help me with that?" Um, that's not an easy thing for me, especially. I'm an introvert anyway, so I don't rarely want to talk and just have a conversation about what I'm doing a lot. So it
Mhm.
makes it really difficult for me to ask. And you were so giving of your time and your information that, I think, the audience, if they don't get anything else, they should understand that there's probably somebody out there
Yeah.
with the information you need. You just got to open up your mouth and ask the question. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Many
Okay,
are
cool,
afraid to
cool.
open up and ask because it holds them accountable. I'm like, for me, anyways, like once I put it out there, if I say this is what I'm gonna do or ask for
Mm.
help on something, I have to follow through. Like I can't hide because somebody else now knows, right? And like
Exactly.
I gotta show up. So yeah.
Got to show up. Got to show up. So, in terms of this current landscape we're in, I can hear your mindset coming through in some of your answers. But can you share with us just what you think the mindset you need to have as an entrepreneur to kind of traverse through these things that they're going through, or even the current landscape.
Mm. So I guess the easiest way to sum it up is I always say the ABCs to clarity. You have
Mm-hmm.
to accept your past, your present, the good, the bad is all happening for you, not to you, but for you.
Oh, I like that.
And then believe, right? Believe in
Mm-hmm.
yourself. But there is a man that made the pet rock. He made $1 million off of a
Yeah.
pet rock. Can you think of how many people told him this is insane? Who's gonna buy
Mm-hmm.
this? That he believed in himself. He did it
Yes.
anyway, and he sold out. They still sell the pet rock, guys, and he only sold it for like $1 and some change. And this is back in the day.
Yes.
Um, and so just believing in yourself, no matter what others may say, naysayers
Mm.
may say, because your people, your tribe may be in a different area code or zip code than you, which is the best thing about social media. And
Mm-hmm.
then connect the dots, make it make sense, and then connect with people. Like you shouldn't have to do it alone. You can build a house by yourself, but it's probably gonna be raggedy. Let's just be real. So ask for some help, so you can nail it in, find a real good stud, and have a solid foundation. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, you can pretty much excel at anything. It's not gonna always be easy, but
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
result.
I tell people all the time, you should be able to bet on yourself. I like betting on myself. Uh, you know, whether it comes out the way I want it to or not, at least I took the shot.
Yeah,
That's the thing. And you get a taste for it, you want to take the shot more and more. That's what I keep telling people. I say it's everybody's looking for the home run, but a lot of times the journey is a step by step thing, and it gets you closer and closer to where you're trying to get to. So I appreciate that advice. That's really good. I really like that. That if you just go do, bet on yourself. Do what you think you want to do. That's a really good piece of advice. I'm a I'm a listener as well,
hmm
so I like to pay attention to what people are telling me, and
that's
a lot
good.
of my but it helps as an entrepreneur. It does help me. It guides me to my next deal a lot of the times. I tend to think people, a lot of problems that get solved are not new problems. It's
Mm-hmm.
just finally somebody decided to pay attention and address it in a creative way. I mean, do
Yeah,
you think that's a good mindset to have?
definitely.
Okay.
The back to the pet rock example, that was just to make people happy during wartime. That
Mm-hmm.
was his thing. Um, and it's an ongoing, situation even in today's time frame, right? But he found a creative and different way to do it. So I believe that's always the case. And a lot of times people want to copycat because it's just easy, right? They're
Mm.
like, let me just take the ice cream scoop and add a fork onto it because but what problem is it solving? Like you're still
Yeah.
scooping something out. So if you're going to do that, look at it in a different light. How can you um make the world a better place, in short, but just in a different way?
Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool. I have to ask this question. I've known you for a few years now, and I've kind of seen your journey getting to where you're at now, a little bit of it. So I have to ask, what was I heard you talk about it a little bit, but what was the catalyst for you creating your own consulting firm in this space?
So, I always say, a lot of times it's too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence. And
Yes.
for my faith believers, I definitely just call it God and divine timing, right? And following
Mm-hmm.
the yellow brick road. Not to
Yes.
say that I was like, "Ooh, this is what it's gonna be." 'Cause that was totally not the case. Um, it was, I guess I'll go back to your thing. It was me betting on me. I
Okay.
actually invested in a program. For one thing, I was like, "Oh, I'm going into this program to learn more about the strategies in business," and it was
Mm-hmm.
absolutely nothing about business. But because I showed up, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
naturally inquisitive. That
Okay.
turned into a coaching position. That turned into
Okay.
an opportunity for me to be coached. Um,
Okay.
and then it really brought to light um this new path of what I've been. My undergraduate degree is in technical communication. We take technical things, we make them simplified, and we communicate it in different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this forever, right? But it was so close to my face that I was like, that's not it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so it really took me betting on myself because I had to pray about that price tag of the course. I still tell her that to this day. I literally had to pray about that price tag, but at that point, things started to line up.
Mm-hmm.
Things started to make sense. I continued to bet on myself, right? Having that discernment to really listen to your gut again when a lot of times you were conditioned to follow the leader, even though you knew
Mm-hmm.
there was a
Yeah.
better way. So I can't take the credit and just be like, "Oh, it was because I decided." No, I bet on myself and things fell into place. And I just followed the yellow brick road from there, and said, "Hey, this is what I do. This is what I enjoy doing. Let's see if we can do more of it."
I mean, I think isn't it like just a self-realization of who you are, and when you realize, oh, these are my gifts.
Mhm.
I think a lot of times people go through life and they either don't know or they don't acknowledge what their true gift is because they want to be like somebody else, or they see someone else doing some wonderful things and they don't realize that's that person's gift. What is yours?
Right. And I also think it's due to unlearning a lot of things, right?
Mm, mm-hmm.
Um, you go through life and whatever baggage your grandparents gave your parents, they put it on you even if they tried to be better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you are just taught certain things. And I know being from the South, it's not to be boastful, not to be prideful. Like, and now I'm like, everybody toot your horn. If you're good at something, go toot toot, right?
Yeah.
And so unlearning these things and removing the shame behind what you've been generationally taught, and not blaming yourself for not knowing, and then
Yeah.
just course correcting and continuing on the right path.
Oh yeah, yeah. That statement made me think about when I first went into corporate America,
Hmm.
and I was woefully underskilled.
Mm,
Starting out, and and you can blame it on, okay, why didn't they teach me this at school and et cetera. I'm like, hey, I'm here now. Okay, this is where we're at. Keep now. I got to catch up, and I got to excel. So that's what it became about. So I really appreciate that statement because I think a lot of us we spend the time shaming ourselves more about not being what we think is enough. So
mhm.
that's a good point. Good point. Uh, I know you got what you're doing now, but are there any other business ventures or endeavors you got in the works? I know you. I shouldn't even ask this question because I know how your mind works.
Yes, of course.
So what would that
um,
look like?
whew. So, last year was a blur, right? I really feel like my theme for this year is harvest, or my word for this year. I don't know what has been planted, but some seeds are coming up. But the ones that I'm focusing on are really pushing forward the Confidence and Courageous Clarity Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of stemmed from my podcast because I truly have experienced, not that I guess, but I know that once you have clarity, like you have the courage and the confidence, and you just move differently and you jump out there. And so I have committed myself to really expanding that market globally
Mm-hmm.
and pushing that forward. So that's the next big focus
Okay.
that I'll put my hand in. And of course, trying to help out where I can here and there and everywhere with other coaches, like you said before, being their best secret weapon behind the scenes to help them,
Mm-hmm.
compound their impact that they're trying to do in the world.
And we appreciate that. Thank you. All right. I know you got a tight schedule, but is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we get out of here?
Keep following you. You're a wealth of knowledge. Um, you wouldn't know if you just met him until you actually took some time, but this platform is absolutely amazing. So to continue to follow it, you have your hand in a lot of amazing things.
Thank you. Thank
Um, and ask for help. I'm here to help. You can find
you.
me everywhere, Jetaya Jones, JetiaJones.com. I do respond to DMs.
Okay.
So, yeah, ask for help and go out there and make the world a better place.
Okay. All right. Cool. Can you before we shut it down? Can you share tell them how to follow you and what your handles are so we can get you connected with them?
Definitely. So Facebook is Jetaya Jones Consulting. Instagram is Jetaya Jones. But the easiest way to find like a one-stop shop is just to go to JetiaJones.com. You can locate the podcast on your favorite platform and all of my social media handles, as well as how to connect with me and work with me.
Great. 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 Well, once again, well, first of all, I hopefully we can get you back on here this year. I know you're a busy person.
You know the answer is always yes. That's why I was like, "What? I got time. The calendar is clear until 5 o'clock because I didn't know what time this was gonna end." I said, "Let me block off my calendar just in case when you first mentioned it." So yes, the
Uh,
answer is always yes.
Okay, so we'll definitely be having you back. And once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining us. I got a lot, and I'm sure everybody who's listening or will listen will get a lot. Once again, please follow us, TCM Lemons and Lemonade on YouTube at TCM Lifestyle. Also, our follow us on our IG and Facebook pages, TCM Collection, then Pinterest TCM Lifestyle. Until next week, thank you so much, and thank you so much, Jatia.
You're welcome. I was like, I didn't know about Pinterest. Let me go follow.
All right. Till next time, everyone. Bye.